and more importantly, to discover who you are and what part you will have to play in our global world. During that journey, you have also uncovered what it means to be French and to be fluent in the language of Molière. You can claim today that you know the never-ending grammatical complexities, the labyrinth of conjugation and tenses, that you understand the intricate political changes linked to our 5 revolutions and our 15 written constitution since 1791, that you are able not only to read, understand, analyze, but also reflect upon French literature. I believe that the long sleepless nights that you spent studying French had one purpose. Voltaire, Victor Hugo, Charles de Gaulle, Robert Badinter, Marguerite Duras, and of course Albert Camus. To name a few authors we've studied in class these past 2 years. Despite their differences, they have one thing in common: the power of rebellion. Rebellion against religious dogmas and the predominance of the church that Voltaire called l'infâme. Attack on social injustice with Les Misérables. Resistance against the negation of humanity when de Gaulle's voice vibrated on the BBC calling for a relentless war against Nazi Germany. Revolt against la guillotine when Badinter, Attorney General of the Justice Department, gave a passionate speech at the French National Assembly that led to the abolition of death penalty in 1981. Rebellion against the family with Duras, depicting her love-hate relationship with her mother. Revolt against the absurdity of life for Camus. Shall we say that rebellion is rooted in the French culture? Bloody hell it is. We beheaded our king and our queen during the French Revolution. Graduating class of 2014. You are all very French in that regard. You are the class who broke quite a few rules. Some of you decided to rebel against the rules established by the school at the senior prom. You know what I'm referring to. Others rebelled against their French education at the end of grade 10 and chose a bilingual diploma In another language, not in French. I won't name the traitors. Finally, you are the only class who rebelled against the protocol of graduation. First, you were determined, for the first time in the history of the school, to elect only one speaker, representing the two sections. Then, rebels among rebels decided a few days ago to have one more faculty speaker tonight. Your choice, nonetheless, honors the French department and stresses out the importance and the relevance of studying French as a second language or at a literary level. You've made a point to recognize the critical thinking, the excellence, and the rigor that French teachers have always expected from you, even in a hard way sometimes. Unfortunately, rebellion has a price. The scream of revolt only comes once we have discovered the reflective silence within ourselves, the realization of our helplessness to stop the tragedy of life. That's what Camus Caligula realizes after losing the love of his life. Et que me fait une main ferme? De quoi me sert ce pouvoir si étonnant si je ne puis changer l'ordre des choses, si je ne puis faire que le soleil se couche à l'est, que la souffrance décroisse et que les êtres ne meurent plus? Many of us have experienced that silence this year when the people we loved passed away. Dan Rosenberg, who taught history and TOK at our school, and Ella Baskett-Stone, an alumna and a former student of mine. What choice do we have when faced with that silence? In his quest for the moon, for the impossible, Caligula eventually realizes that he didn't make the right choice because he forgot his humanity. Of course, it is difficult to anticipate how one would react when faced with that terrifying feeling of helplessness. However, I know that the rich bilingual education that you have received at the French-American International School will help you fight against any kind of plagues that could wreck our world. Embrace the absurdity of life. Live with passion. Ask for the impossible. Be ready to fight for what you believe in. Stay faithful to your roots. Last but not least, keep your humanity and your ethics whenever making important choices. Dear graduating class of 2014, we have lived a happy and a painful journey together at the school. Saying goodbye is never an easy task. That's why I'll bid you farewell with the solemn words of a father to his son, his child. Those of Créon to his son, Aimon, in Anouilh Antigone. On a tous un jour plus ou moins triste, plus ou moins lointain, où on doit accepter d'être un homme. Pour toi, c'est aujourd'hui. Merci.
Thank you both for your inspiring speeches, provocative, thoughtful. Another high watermark this year. Now is the time to enjoy our first musical performance under the direction of David Williams.